6201 Kennedy Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio. This is Kennedy Heights. Doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be a concern for the buyer. Our access is the main stack there in the right center of the basement, going in through a very high clean out above the toilet in the basement, and going out as far as we can. This is cast iron. Cast iron is it's not a bad material, but obviously it does rust. And so it is rougher on the inside. So far this looks like it's holding shape pretty well. But in these cases you're really just looking for, you know, any holes or anything that would be, you know, obvious structural damage. Now the line itself, with cast iron you tend to have a little more susceptibility to soft clogs, which is, you know, your excessive toilet paper or like wet wipes are horrible, paper towels. You don't want to flush any of that stuff down the line because it can catch on that rough interior of the rust a lot easier than it can other materials. And so you're just trying to make sure that, you know, you don't put anything down there that could easily cause a big problem. I don't believe there's any water onto the house. I will check once I get all the way out to the main. But I don't think there's any water onto the house because I don't think the heat is on in here. And it is 20-something degrees outside. So if they did turn the water on, I would be surprised. But so far, what I can see is the line looks pretty good, especially for its age. Okay, looks like we are exiting the house now and changing material. Looks like we're going into concrete. And concrete's a pretty good material overall. Tends to keep roots out a little better. But it is also rough, so it does tend to have a little more drag on it than, say, clay or PVC. But it does tend to hold up pretty well when it comes to roots and stuff like that. Well, great, and we've made it all the way to the main. All right, so it's a very good sign. I'm going to pause the video for a second and I'm going to see if I can, I'm just going to check to make sure that no water's on, but I at least want to verify that before I go any further, because a lot of times I like to run water as I pull back, just so we can get a little bit better idea of, you know, how the line's functioning. But yeah, we're going to, as dry as the line looks, I don't think that anything's been on, but I'm going to pause the video and check. Alright, I was wrong. Water is on. So maybe they have the heat on just enough to keep it above freezing in here. But they're supposed to have it on for inspections, but you never know. And so I'm going to let this run for a minute. Shouldn't take too long for it to get down there. I know we were out 67 feet or so, but we won't really have to worry about it. Usually when I run water, it's not really for the like the lines out here if it's concrete or something like that. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to make its way through now. And also with these, you can't you know, you can't always inspect the different branches also, and so you know, anything that's coming into this line from the peripheral lines, you can't really check. And so when you run water like this in the fixture, then it at least gives you an opportunity to make sure that the water is making it through, you know, those the lines that the fixtures are tied to on the side, if necessary or if possible. Anyway. Now the bathroom upstairs comes straight down into this. The kitchen sink upstairs, that's another peripheral line that we can't get into. Normally they're too small a diameter to even get into. In this case, that's exactly what the deal is. There's a clean out where you could get in it with a snake, but you know, it's too small of an opening to get a camera in because of the electronics and stuff. They won't make the turns in such a small diameter pipe. But as we can see, as we pushed out, we didn't see any issues as far as either the cast iron or the concrete, which is really shows that it's in pretty good shape for its age. There is water just resting in the basement here on the floor, puddling, and so maybe they were somewhat worried about that being an issue. But as far as the sewer line is concerned, it doesn't seem that that is any issue as far as causing the water on the basement floor. It looks like storm water, so it just looks like, yeah, there you go. You can see we're about 11 feet out. You can see to the left where the water was coming in, right there to the left. And so anything past that, it's only a few feet. But good news is that we are now vertical, and the line is in really good shape. So, pull back into the drum. Now that we're all the way back out, really surprisingly great looking line. I didn't see any structural issues at all. The line looks like it's in a lot better shape than even expected based off the what I'm seeing in the basement as far as the water and stuff like that. It did look like there was a little indication over in a floor drain that there might have been some backup. Like I said, I can't tell about the line that's coming from the kitchen just because we don't have any access to it, but the main line going out is in amazing shape for its age. And so I didn't see anything, anything of any concern. You always have the regular stuff with cast iron as far as, making sure that nothing gets, nothing crazy gets flushed down there. To make sure you don't have any backups, but overall, surprisingly, the line was in surprisingly good shape for its age and material. So I don't really have much to add to that. The line is in good functioning order at time of inspection. It's open and flowing, and as long as you treat the line as it was designed to be treated, it should be in great shape in the future. And so that's going to end the inspection at 6201 Kennedy Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio.